All right, welcome to episode number 2 of GT Sports Pro and College Podcast 2025. This is the podcast where I try to come on every day or every other day to talk professional college sports. They're kind of quick podcasts. They're not going to be very long. So I've already done one. So this is going to be the second one. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the college World Series, Women's College World Series, where we'll recap game number 1 and preview game number 2 that'll be played here in a couple of hours here tonight. And then we'll also talk a little bit about the NBA. Game 1 is starting up with the NBA between the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. So we'll definitely preview that. I'll give you my thoughts on that game and then talk a little bit of MLB, talk about the Houston Astros. So again, as I was saying, in this on this podcast, I love sports. So I just want to come out and give my opinion on this podcast. I'll be talking a little bit more direct about how I feel about certain players, certain teams. Anybody that follows this podcast is gonna get to see teams that I like, players that I like, fans, players. I'm a fan of certain players. And then you're also going to see teams that I really don't care a lot for, and players that I really don't like. So I'm going to be giving my opinion. Hopefully that'll stir up a debate for those that want to follow. Sometimes I'll be right, most of the time I'll be wrong, but I'm still going to give you my opinion, and so I don't want anybody to hold me accountable. Hey, that's right, wrong. I do a lot of research, so I do talk and I do give my opinion based on what I read and what I see and what I think is going to happen, but not always right. Most of the time I'm wrong, but it's my opinion. So I give it, but hopefully it'll draw a little bit of some dialogue, and there'll be people that'll watch it and want to jump in the comment section and go back and forth, and maybe even jump on the podcast from time to time and challenge me. Definitely would love that. I love talking sports. If you love talking sports, definitely want to follow this podcast, and you can catch this all right now on the GT Sports Pro in College, our Facebook page. I'm only sharing it to the Facebook page now and pre-recording it. If it later on, I'll probably start going live here, but right now I'm just pre-record it and upload it. So let's get real quick. Let's go to the College World Series, last night's game. I watched it from beginning to end. It was a great game, as people heard me say in episode number 1 that I did about a day ago. I'm rooting for the Texas Lady Longhorns. I'm a Longhorn fan, so I support them in football. I support them in baseball, softball, basketball, everything. And so they have been to the World Series a few times now and have lost. So I'm hoping that this year they'll get the win. And last night was game number 1. 2 great pitchers, Jerry Kennedy for Texas Tech, Tegan Kavan for Texas. Man, 2 great pitchers. I said that maybe a few runs is all that will be needed to win game 1, possibly even the other games in the series. That's how dominant these pitchers are. And they did not disappoint. It was great. I felt like Reese Atwood, I said, needed to be involved. She needed to be Reese Atwood, even though she had been struggling. The capabilities, man, she can get going. She can knock one out of the ballpark. So I said, they're going to need Reese Atwood in some way to affect this game to be Reese Atwood. And definitely she did that in game number 1. So we'll get to all of that. But before I get to all that and we preview tonight's game, man, what a game, right? Like, I'm watching this game, and as the game is going, I'm thinking, okay, boy, who's going to score? Maybe 1 run. Whoever scores will probably be enough the way these 2 pitchers are pitching. And then Texas Tech gets a runner on first and attempts to steal second. They get her out. Great play by Reese Atwood to get that ball over to second and got her. I mean, wasn't even close, right? But there's a rule about obstruction, and so it was challenged by the coach from Texas Tech. Glasgow, I think is his name, and it turns out to be the way I believe the rule is written. It was obstruction, and so the player was tagged out, but because of the rule, it was determined that the Texas player was in the area of obstruction, and so the player comes back to second base. And of course, I wasn't happy. And of course, for me, I'm old school. So for me, obstruction is if I'm running and I'm trying to get to the base and you cover the base with your body, with your legs, something that causes me not to be able to get to the bag because of your interference, that's obstruction to me. If I'm running and I got a clear path and you're in the way, but you're not in the path where I'm running, to me, that's not obstruction. It's that easy for me. But the rule is written a certain way. And according to what I read today, the way the rule is written, it was upheld by that. There was obstruction according to the way the rule is written. And so she came back on. So for me, change the rule, right? Because to me, that wasn't obstruction at all, right? She was able to get there. It was just a great play by Reese Atwood, the catcher for Texas, and got her out on time. But because her foot or something was wherever it shouldn't have been, they got her back on base. So for me, if that is the way the rule is written, please change it because that's not good for softball, in my opinion. Because the end result is because of that, which I thought I replayed it over and over again, didn't affect the play at all, in my opinion. But because of the way the rule is written, she was able to come back to second, which, the way these pitchers had been pitching, the way the game was going, that's huge, right? Like you still, it's a great play. Texas gets you out, but because of the obstruction, you're able to stay on second. That's huge. That's huge for Texas Tech, which turns out to then they get a hit to the outfield. It drops, and that runner from second gets home and scores the run. Texas Tech 1-0 over the Texas Lady Longhorns. So to me, I'm like, oh my goodness, if Texas loses this game the way that Kavana's been pitching because of this call, that's awful. That is just awful. Even though that is the rut's awful to lose a game that way. So, I'm thinking, obviously, I'm not happy, and I'm thinking, man, the way Kennedy's been pitching, this could be the game. I mean, this could end the game. I mean, she's been able to shut Texas's offense down. We may not get a run. This game's going to end up 1-0, man. That's going to be awful. But then Reese Atwood comes out, been struggling, but still Reese Atwood, and so coaches know she has the capability of one swing and it's gone. So the decision was when she came up is to walk her, right? They had two on Texas. We put her on and we'll take our chances with the next batter, which I don't know if that was a good idea or not, because the next batter's also been able to get going. But they took their chances with the player on deck and put Atwood at on base. I think it becomes easier because then you get a force out anywhere, right? You don't have to do the tag, just a force out if you're going to go home. Whatever the decision was by the Texas Tech coach, whatever went into that, they were going to intentionally walk her. But to me, if you're going to throw, you got to throw it away from where a batter could possibly put the bat in. I mean, think about it this way. Reese Atwood is tall, right? Like, I think she's 6'6", maybe a little taller. She's tall. She's really tall. She's got good reach, good power. So when Kenny threw the first one, I thought, wow, man, like, that's kind of close, but if they're going to intend, Walker, maybe Reese Atwood isn't going to be, right? I'm just going to throw four more balls and we're going to put her on. I mean, that's probably the thinking, but great heads up play. Great players do great things in certain moments, right? And Reese Atwood just understanding the situation, the struggle of the way the offense is going. She's kind of feeling, okay, this is the way the game is going now. We're getting in the later innings. She's really dominant. She's got her stuff rolling. Like, if I go on base, she may strike out and we may not get this run and we're done, right? Like, I don't know what Reese was thinking, but great players do great things. Reese Atwood is a great player. And so she decided, because the ball, she said, was kind of coming close. So I don't think she had the green light from her coach. Takes a swing, takes a shot. She said, I had to take a risk, I had to do something. It paid off for her. I think everyone was kind of like stunned that she swung at it. I mean, and so she hits the ball, gets to the outfield. So the third base and the second base runners come in and they get the lead 2-1. Of course, I'm happy that, we got the lead. But then as I cooled down, I said, man, what an ugly way for Texas Tech to lose this game. and specifically Kennedy, who this Texas offense they can hit the ball. It's a really good offense. It's a really good team offensively, and she was shutting them down. And to you'll get a call to walk intentional walk Reese Atwood, and then never thinking right that she's going to swing and get the ball and get it to the outfield where you get to. I mean, that's just not the way it's drawn up. That you think this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to score. But for Reese Atwood to understand the situation, understand that the team is struggling offensively and that Kennedy is on fire in the circle and probably going to be hard to get hit, takes a chance and it pays off. I think it was huge. And like I said, you got to take a chance. You felt like, hey, I got to do something here. That's Reese Atwood. And great players do great things in certain moments, right? And she did that. And I think if she doesn't do that, honestly, I think if she takes the walk, I really think Texas, there was a good chance that they lose a game the way she was pitching. So it ended up where, I'm sure it hurts still today for Texas Tech, man, because you had the game won. You didn't think that this was going to happen, but great heads up play by Reese Atwood to get the advantage. Takes a chance, it pays off, and Texas gets to win 2-1. Man, just great game. I was just watching these teams going back and forth, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh wow, oh wow. I was just like in wow mood the whole time, especially toward the end of the game. But Texas gets a big win to lead the series 1-0, and game two will be here in a couple of hours. Listen, I think if you're Texas Tech, man, Kennedy comes back, right? Like for me, if there's no caution for injury, if she's 100%, maybe a little fatigue, she's going. I mean, there ain't no doubt in my mind. I'm talking to her this morning. How you feeling? Any injuries? And if she can go, she's going. Like there's no someone else coming in to pitch. I mean, you're there because of her, and I'm riding her to the end. I mean, if we're gonna lose this, we're gonna lose it with her. There's no way that I'm putting another pitcher in there where Texas can get a few runs, because in this series, the way it's going, 1 run, 2 runs, 3 runs could be enough, right? So I'm not taking the chance. I'm putting my ace back out there, and I'm letting her go. Now, if she's struggling really bad, then maybe I have to make a change. Then I do that, but I'm riding with her. I mean, it's all on her. She came out and said, "Look, I'll rest in the summer when the series is over. Right now, it's all about softball." I love that attitude, and that's why she gets paid the big bucks, right? She signed a big NIL deal, and look, she's worth right now every dollar of what she got there, man. She has been great. So if I'm Texas Tech and there's no caution for injury, she's going tonight. For Texas, Coach White has an opportunity. He's got one in the pocket here, so he doesn't really necessarily need to start Teagan, I guess. He could go with Morgan. He's got Gutierrez. He's got a couple other pitchers. Morgan his pitch. She's been in these moments before. It's not something new to her. So I can see going with Morgan to start off with. If she starts struggling quickly, he could probably put Kavan back in. He's done this before. I'm not so sure that I start Teagan in this game because I don't really need to see what Morgan can do offensively with the Texas Tech offense. If she's able to shut them down through 4 or 5 innings, that's huge for Texas because Teagan's getting that rest, right? Should they be able to pull this out, Texas Tech, you're going to have a fresh Teagan Kavan coming for game 3 if need be. So I think you might see Morgan. I don't know. That's just a fan talking. But who knows? He may want to end it here with Kavan. I mean, we'll see what happens. But I think Coach White has a little bit more flexibility in terms of using his ace to starter, yes or no. But I think for Texas Tech, you got to go with Kennedy. There's no way that you sit her down. If she can go. And plus, I've seen her pitch, man. That she's dominant. She can go the distance. She can go 2 games and pitch tonight like she pitched last night. I mean, she has that capability. So should be a great game too. If the Lady Longhorns win this game, they're crowned champions, and it'll be well deserved. So hopefully they'll be able to do that. But looking forward to a good game as I'll be watching them here on one of the monitors. And then, of course, I also want to talk a little bit about and preview the NBA Finals. Game number 1 is tonight. The Indiana Pacers taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. And and everyone's going Thunder, right? They're predicted to win. They got the MVP. They've got home court, so why not, right? But I'm going Indiana, and people thought I was a little crazy for going with Indiana, but I like Indiana. I like the way they played. I think they're a well-rounded team. They got a deep bench that really produces a lot of points. They don't have that superstar Halliburton, but he's not Kobe, Michael, Magic, Bird, LeBron. You don't, D Wade. He's not that superstar for your team, but he's really very good with Pascal Siakam and a very good role players and bench. Plus, excuse me, they have Rick Carlisle, man. And they don't talk a lot about him, but he's a huge, huge reason why they're here. Great coach, NBA champion coach with the Dallas Mavericks. I believe it's when he won his first one. So I think they have an advantage where it comes to the coach. So can Rick Carlisle make the adjustments needed to win tonight's game and win the series and be crowned champions? We'll definitely see. But I think that's where Indiana has an advantage coaching wise. I like Rick Carlisle. Another reason why I picked Indiana. But for me, it comes down to this. Defensively, what scares me about Oklahoma City is, man, they're the best defensive team in the NBA. I mean, those guys just get after it. They cause a lot of havoc, a lot of problems. They cause turnovers and easy points for them. So if two things, if the defense for Oklahoma City causes problems in this series for Indiana, it's going to be a long series for Indiana. If Halliburton gets shut down and he, gets 8, 10 points, they won't win. He needs to find a way to get his points. They don't have to score 30, 40 points, but 22, 25 points definitely helps them with the way the other teams can score. So for me, two things: Halliburton cannot get shut down or shut down in this series. He's got to find a way in past games that he's played against them. He hasn't had good games, so he needs to figure out a way. They need to figure out a way that he gets his. Necessarily doesn't have to be the high score, but he's got to get his to put more pressure on OKC. And then the defense for OKC cannot impact the game here, because if they do, and they're able to get turnovers and frustrate Indiana in this series, and they can't figure it out, then this game is probably going to end in 5 or 6. It won't even go to a game 7. But if they can do that, if Oklahoma City's defense does not impact this game, their defense, and Halliburton can get going, then I think they have a really good chance. It puts a lot more pressure than on OKC. But OKC's young. They run. Indiana runs. They're really good defensively. You get multiple players from Indiana that can score. This should be a good series. And, of course, if it comes down to game 7, like I was told, it's going to be in OKC. And I think that is an advantage for OKC. But Indiana has been here. They want to win. They're hungry. You look at Indiana and who they had to beat, Milwaukee. But they told me, well, Dame Lillard was hurt. Okay. Then they played Cleveland, and Cleveland wasn't 100%. They had key players hurt. And then they beat the New York Knicks, right? So those are the 3 teams that they beat to get to the finals. For Oklahoma City, Memphis, which I thought they would beat. Denver was a really good matchup there. So beating Denver was huge for OKC, because Denver was not an easy team with the Joker out there, Nikola Jokic, and those dudes. So being able to beat those guys in the series was huge for Oklahoma City. And then, of course, they took care of Minnesota. So impressive win, a series win for Oklahoma City, taking out Denver. But like I said, I can see why people are picking Oklahoma City to win this, but I just like Indiana. There's certain things, like I said, that Indiana is going to have to do better at. I think if they can do those things, they give themselves a chance. But if they can't break that defense, if they're able to shut down Halliburton like they have a couple of times, then it's going to be a long series for Indiana. I think this thing is over quickly, maybe 5 or 6. So we'll see. Game 1 is tonight. For me, Indiana has to win 1 or 2. I think tonight would be a good time, a good win to steal one from Oklahoma City. But if OKC wins game 1 and 2 at home and they go back to Indiana, Indiana going down 0-2, I don't think they come back and win the series. I think they might win 1. Maybe they'll win both, but they won't win the series, because I think it'll be too much for them to come back beating a team, going to back home 0-2, the way Oklahoma City has been playing. So for Indiana, they need to at least split it. But if they go back home to Indiana 0-2, I think the percentages go a lot higher than they are now, that they won't win the series. So that's the way I see it. We'll see game ones tonight. I think this is a great opportunity for Indiana to come out and steal this one from OKC. We'll see what happens, but definitely we'll be talking more as every game is played until we crown a champion there with the in the NBA. And then, of course, I wanted to also talk a little bit about the MLB. We hadn't talked much about that. I've been kind of following up a little bit, so you'll also see that I am a Houston Astros fan. I love the Texas Rangers, but not as much as I love the Houston Astros. So if the Texas Rangers are playing the Houston Astros, I'm an Astros fan. If the Rangers are playing anybody else and I'm watching, I'm definitely rooting for the Rangers. But I've been an Astros fan since I was a kid. Love them. And right now, they're in a series with Pittsburgh. McCullers pitched game one. It was nice to see him win game one. Last night, we lost. So tonight, Framber Valdez is pitching for Houston, and hopefully they'll get a win here tonight. I was watching the injury list. Man, a lot of pitchers hurt for Houston. My goodness. Renell Blanco is hurt. France, Christian Javier. I mean, a lot of these pitchers are hurt. So we're not at full strength by any means, but we're about half a game, I think, or maybe we're even tied, I think, in the division. So that's good. So we'll continue to keep up with Houston. Tomorrow when I come on, I'll definitely let you know what happened if Framber Valdez and the Houston Astros were able to get a win tonight. But right now, the series tied 1-1. And like I said, we're in the thick of things in the division. We're at the top there. I think we're tied possibly, I think, with Seattle, I saw the other day. But we'll see. I'll keep definitely posting all this stuff up here on our Facebook page. Right now, we're posting everything on the GT Sports Pro and college Facebook page. And then eventually we'll go into YouTube and we'll do all that other stuff. Right now, I'm also pre-recording. I'll do a couple more episodes pre-recording. Then eventually I'll go live in the afternoon or early evening. So I'll definitely try to come on every day. Some of these podcasts can be real short. Sometimes they're going to be a little longer. But definitely we'll talk about that. And then as I was coming on, I saw a little breaking news right as I was coming on that Aaron Rodgers was going to sign with Pittsburgh. So I'll definitely talk more about that tomorrow. I can't say this. I think it's an upgrade for Pittsburgh for what they had so far without Aaron Rodgers going into the season. Obviously, bringing in Aaron Rodgers is huge for them. But Aaron Rodgers really didn't impress me last year. And, he's older. So can he win you a couple of games? Yes. But he's not going to do anything spectacular. I don't think he's not going to make a deep playoff run. I mean, when you got in the AFC, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and those dudes, CJ Stroud probably better. I mean, he's just not going to be able to play at the level that those quarterbacks are playing. So I'll talk more about that. So if I did see right, Aaron Rodgers is signing with Pittsburgh. I think that is a little bit of an upgrade because of what you had. But if I'm a Pittsburgh fan, I'm not saying like, oh yeah, now we're going to go, to the world, to the playoffs, to the Super Bowl, because I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe we need a couple more games of that, but not much is going to happen. But I'll read more into that, and I'll talk more about that in the coming days as the NFL getting closer. We've got 100 days before the season starts, so definitely going to be talking a lot of NFL leading up to the season opener and talking about all the teams as the season progresses. And don't forget the NBA, the draft is coming up as well. So there's a lot to talk about that. Cooper Flag, what San Antonio going to do? What are some of these other teams going to do? A lot of stuff out there about trades. Giannis is going to be leaving Milwaukee. Is he going to be going here? They fired Tom Thibodeau. We'll talk more about that. So a lot of stuff going on in the NBA, the draft coming up, the NFL season coming up. And then, let's not forget about the UFC, a good fight that's coming up. And I'll talk more about that with the fight that's coming up tomorrow. But thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the game. If you're going to watch a softball game, go hook them horns. Hopefully they get the win and they're crowned champions tonight. And then, of course, watching game one of the NBA Finals. So I'll have the World Series on one of my monitors, and I'll have the NBA Finals in the others. So hopefully you enjoy your night. If you're going to watch any sports, and I'll be back tomorrow. I'll record and then upload, and we'll talk about game two of the World Series, and then we'll also recap the NBA Finals. So until then, man, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night.